All right, everybody. This is part three. This is part three to the Supreme Team hits on E Money Bags and Big Nose Troy. This series is for educational purposes only. Shout out to Chase Nova, who kind of set this whole thing off. He was in his lower self. Right now, we got him the help he deserves. Somewhere right now as we speak, he is face deep in the supreme lessons. Getting knowledge yourself. We gotta restore the culture somehow, right? So, in this series, we're really showing how the killers do tell on the killers. For some reason, Kenneth Supreme McGriff wasn't diplomatic enough to work out that $1,000 to give back to E Money Bags, and this led to a hit taking place. This is not real nigga shit. This is stupid shit, to be totally honest with you. Because if you was worth $250,000, why wouldn't you just pay him $1,000 to get him out your life, versus having to pay some killers who would eventually tell on you $25,000, right? So this is part three. Let's get right back into this.
And at that point, what did you do? I had a guy that used to be driving around with us all the time. I told him to get Trip and take him out of the town, get him from the same area. Instead of taking him out of town, he just took him across town to a hotel. You wanted Trip taken out of town for what reason? So he could get away. And you said that they went to Trip and this driver went to a hotel? Yes, the driver's name was Jawani.
Jesus.
What happened?
He even told the driver's name? That was unnecessary, Manny. He said the driver's name. What was his name? He said, yeah. Oh, yeah. He said the driver's name was Jawani. You didn't. Jesus, Manny.
Happened at the hotel. I was watching TV and I saw the hotel on TV. The cops had it surrounded. And Trip was inside. Was Broughton arrested? Yes, he was arrested. Do you know how long, or do you know what happened to his case?
I don't know why you didn't get out of there. Trip, you was kind of bugging. You should have got out of there. They went right to the hotel. That was crazy.
I think he ended up getting 10 years, 5 to 10 years. For murder? For homicide. In 1992, did you stop selling drugs in Pennsylvania? Yes, I got arrested. How old were you then? 20 years old. What happened that caused you to stop selling drugs? Had you left Pennsylvania before you got arrested? Yes, I had left Pennsylvania maybe 6 to 7 months before getting arrested. What made you leave Pennsylvania? The house that I was staying in got raided. Whose house were you staying in? My daughter's mother's. Was there anything illegal in the house? Drugs. And who lived at that house? Shantae Burton and her mother. Do you know how much drugs were in the house? No, I don't recall. Where did you go when the house got raided? I was already in New York. And you just didn't go back to Pennsylvania? Yes, I didn't go back. Eventually, you said you were arrested, correct? I was arrested in Harlem. Who arrested you? What law enforcement agency? Feds. And what did they arrest you for? For conspiracy to sell drugs in Pennsylvania?
I'm just trying to make sure I'm catching this right. So this is why this might be a good lesson. Sorry, y'all. But this is why this is a good lesson. Don't be up here talking about, yo, that's when I do crime. When I do crime, I do it with the killers. These niggas was building up a case the whole time. Hold on, y'all. Let's just bring this back 30 seconds. Let's bring this back. Let's bring this back a minute.
Pennsylvania. The house that I was staying in got raided. Whose house were you staying in? My daughter's mother's. Was there anything illegal in the house? Drugs. And who lived at that house? Shantae Burton and her mother. Do you know how much drugs were in the house? No, I don't recall. Where did you go when the house got raided? I was already in New York. And you just didn't go back to Pennsylvania? Yes, I didn't go back. Eventually, you said you were arrested, correct? I was arrested in Harlem. Who arrested you? What law enforcement agency? Feds. And what did they arrest you for? For conspiracy to sell drugs in Pennsylvania. Also in 1992, did you ever get arrested for stolen property that you remember? I think 2 firearms, but I don't think anything ever came of that. And when you were arrested by, as you said, the feds, where did they take you? They took me to Harrisburg. First I went to MCC. I got arrested in New York City, so I went to MCC Manhattan, and I was extradited to Pennsylvania. MCC is a federal holding facility? Holding facility. You were taken to Pennsylvania. Were you charged there? Yes. Do you remember what you were charged with? 848. What's that? Drug charge. Is that called continuing criminal enterprise? And do you know the minimum sentence that you were facing under? 20 years. 20 years. What did you do?
It just ain't, nah. And I get it. You can make, because Manny Dog said he could make 30,000 every 2 weeks, right? Off of 100 grams. But a lot comes with this lifestyle that, to me, they wasn't rapping enough about. They wasn't showing enough in the video. So they definitely showed us the fast women. They definitely showed us the cars. They definitely showed us the balling out of control. But in real life, as most of you guys know that know what I know, it be mad ups and downs, bro. It be mad packages lost. You got to talk about it all, bro. Starting back over from the bottom. It's a real fiasco. A real fiasco. Like he said, Holmes is getting raided. It's not... To summarize the full experience into a 3-minute song or a 2.5-minute video and making it seem like I'm just a poet telling the story, then you're not telling the truth, the whole story. I'll tell you that. You're not.
I ended up getting, I think, 80 some months. I ended up cooperating.
Somebody feed the wolves. Somebody feed the wolves. He said he got 80 months and he ended up cooperating. No, just go get a job, beloved. This is crazy. Because what I'm saying to you is everybody's cooperating, so it don't make sense to even get involved. Like, it's crazy.
So you cooperated in that case? Yes. What did you have to do to cooperate? Tell them everything that I did? Did you have to testify? No. Did you plead guilty to the continuing criminal enterprise? Yes. Do you remember what the quantity of drugs was that you were ultimately held responsible for selling out there? I think it was 5 kilos or more. 5 kilos or more? 5 kilos of coke or more. Do you remember if you were held responsible for 13 kilograms? No, I don't remember. How about money-wise? Do you recall how much money they held you responsible for? No. Did you also have some guns when you were arrested or when you were committing that offense? No, when I got arrested, I didn't have any guns. Did you have some guns when you were committing the drug dealing? Yes. When were you released from federal prison? October 15th, 1998. You were how old at that point? 27. And where did you go when you got out? Back to Harlem. Were you on what they call supervised release? Yes. What's that? Probation of sorts. It's part of your federal sentence, is that right? Yes. And you have to report to a probation officer? Yes. You also have to have certain conditions, is that right? Yes. What kinds of things did they do to keep track of you? You have to take a urine test. You have to come to your probation officer once. It starts off at once a month and then once every 2 weeks. Did you also have to look for or have a job? Absolutely. Where did you work when you came out of federal prison? New York Sports Club. What did you do? I was a personal trainer. How long did that last? Maybe a year or two. What caused you to stop doing that? Selling drugs. Did you get back into drug dealing before you stopped being a personal trainer? Yeah, at the very end. There was some overlap between the two things, is that right? Yes. What did you do at that point to sell drugs? I sold drugs, maybe just hand to hand. What kind of drugs? Coke. Did you follow the conditions of your supervised release? No. How did you break those rules? By selling drugs. But you told your probation officer otherwise, correct? Yes, I lied.
Manny wants Manny is being so truthful and polite. He's telling the absolute truth. And guess what? As you would guys would say, he's a snitch. Right? Yo, Blaze is a snitch, so why you believe in him? Because as Manny Dog has said, the more truthful I am, there's a good chance I'm going to get off this. And these people are beating murders. These people are out in the free world with multiple murders. Because they said, yeah, I'm going to just tell the truth. And this is why I do the 5K1 prayer before my videos. So I am not. Their shenanigans have no effect on me. I see people in the comments mocking me. I'm unsubscribing. 5K. You do what you got to do, baby, because I'm going to do what I got to do. I know who the true and living is. 5K1 God.
You told him you were working, is that right? Yes. Did you also tell your officer that you were adapting to life without committing crimes? Yes. But you weren't, is that right? That's right. When did you actually get arrested for the contract killings that you're in jail for right now? January 20th, 2006. So between when you started selling drugs after you left federal prison and 2006, is it safe to say that you were pretty much selling drugs for most of that time? Yes. How long did you work at New York Sports Club before you started selling? Maybe a year and a half. And over the time that you were released between 1998 and 2006, would it be safe to say that you sold around between 15 and 20 kilograms of cocaine? Yes. Did you know someone named Twan? Yes. Did anything happen with Twan in
No, 10 toes. No, this ain't the Twan Zip was locked up with. Knock it off. Knock it off, 10. Let's not even rehash that beef up. I know 10. Yo, that question triggered 10 just then. He was like, Twan, I got. Not the same Twan, bro. Please leave Zip alone. Leave him alone, bro. Thank you.
1998? Yes. What happened with Twan? I had a couple of guys going out of town, and Twan was sneaking us out of their house. I think they had a hotel. He was sneaking us out of the hotel room, trying to steal the guns they had. When you say you had some guys going out of town, what do you mean by that? I had a guy named Les that used to be with me. He was going out of town. I used to give him some drugs, and he used to go out of town selling. You said that Twan was sneaking into a house? It was a hotel room that he snuck into and stole one of the guns. The guy Les. And do you remember the other person's name? No, I don't remember his name. What happened?
This is crazy. Why would you want to be a part of this type of activity? Like, why? You can't even trust the people that you're working with. They're setting you up. They're doing all type of shady business to you behind your back. Why would you want this? Why wouldn't we want better for our youth, right? So, okay, we get it. Yo, we poor, so we gotta try to do something. But if what you're trying to do is gonna worsen things, then let's just stay poor until we figure it out. Cause I don't want nobody down 10, 20 years when we could have just figured it out. There are some community leaders that I want to work with. I'll get back to that later. There are some community leaders that I want to work with. If you are a true community leader, please hit me up. Jamel_Saladin on the Instagram.
Happened after Twan stole that gun? I was coming from work from New York Sports Club one day, and I seen Les, and he told me about it. So I went. I knew Twan was at the gambling spot. I went to the gambling spot to see him, me, Les, and another individual. When I seen Twan, I pulled out a gun. I had a gun on me, and I told him to come here. And he came to me, and I explained to him that he needed to stop stealing things from them, stop going inside the hotel room. He told me he was not doing it. He got on his knees, and I put the gun in his face and told him he needed to cut that out. Did he stop? Yes. From your perspective, what did pulling the gun on Twan do to your reputation in the community? I mean, it just bolstered it, made it seem like I was tougher than Twan. I probably was. Did you know someone named Ralph? Yes. Did something happen with Ralph around 2000? Around 2001, Ralphie was a guy from my neighborhood, a younger guy. That's in Harlem, is that correct? Yes, him and Les used to hang out a lot. They used to go on Broadway and rob people in Harlem. And I was telling them that they needed to stop doing it, or one day they are going to be hanging out on 149th Street in Harlem, and somebody would ride by and notice that they was the guys who was robbing them and probably get out and do something to them. So they started hanging out with me a little bit more. One day I was coming out, and there was a guy on 149th Street that had been killed the night before when I came out early in the morning. I thought it was Ralph. It turns out Ralph ended up doing the killing.
Damn.
Ralph had killed someone. You said you were coming out. Where were you coming out from? Where you lived? Yes, I was coming out from my house. Ralph killed someone out in front of your apartment? No, I lived in Jersey. I used to come out every morning, early in the morning, and come around 149th Street from my house. You would come from Jersey to 149th Street and hang out? Yes, because that's where I was born at. I was born and raised over there. you saw somebody on the ground who was dead. Is that right?